I've got two words for you, and those are Stephen Strasburg, perhaps the biggest thing to hit Syracuse since Carmelo Anthony when he played basketball here for the Orange. But is he living up to the hype? Well, I talked to a lot of his teammates earlier today, and they told me that the 21-year-old right-handed pitcher is living up to the hype, and that's the most impressive thing about him. They say that he is one of the hardest workers on the team, and that he's got a bright future ahead of him, which all of us probably already knew. But they told me that they are really impressed with him, even coming in here and only playing 4 games so far. I also asked them how much longer they think he'd be here. They told me 1 to 2 games at the most, and that yesterday may have been his last start. So we'll see what happens in the next few weeks with our friend Stephen Strasburg. That's all I've got for you out here at Lions Bank Stadium. Back to you in the studio, John.
Now, Marone says there's competition at every position this year, and the competition is way more intense than it was last year. You know how he knows that? Well, he came out of a practice bleeding. That's right, Marone says that he had to break up a fight and his finger got cut, and that means that he can tell that there's a lot more intensity out on the field this year. And of course, competition just makes you better. Marone thinks that the team has made great strides since last year, but he hopes they'll make a few more strides before opening day in September.
Now, Beth, you mentioned all the strides and the competition that the team is using to get better. What would you say overall is the biggest strength going into the fall?
I say it's got to be the defense. The linebackers could be the core of the team this year. Darrell Smith, we spoke to him a little earlier, and he said that he's feeling better than ever, and Marone thinks that he's going to have a lot more postseason honors than he did last year.
So you mentioned the defense, but what about on the offensive side of the ball, specifically at quarterback? As you mentioned, Greg Paulus is gone, and now it seems like Ryan Nassib's going to get the starting nod. What would you expect from the quarterback position, and is there another controversy brewing?
Well, Ryan Nassib looked pretty good last year in the 10 games that he did play in. Of course, the breakout game that he had against West Virginia with his 120 yards and his high completion rate. But Charlie Loeb, I think, is going to be a force to be reckoned with. He's not going to be, just pushed to the side. I think that you might see a lot of competition between the two, as Marone says he's stressing it, and he thinks both of them look really good right now. So it's a toss-up as to who will be on the field this fall.
So we covered the offense and we covered the defense. What about overall? What is the overall expectations from you since you've covered them the entire spring?
The overall expectation this year is to get to a bowl game, and I think they can actually do that this year. 6 wins is very possible, and I think we'll see that in the fall.
Key to this game seemed to be free throws. Syracuse made 23 of 28 from the line, shooting 82%. Normally they shoot around 65% from the free throw line. UConn, on the other hand, sunk only 64% of their free throws. And as Coach Boeheim said, you miss those free throws, it's a totally different game and probably a different ending in which Boeheim and the Orange surely wouldn't have liked so much.